Hey, Steve Chrysler here from Bookkeeping Life. So I want to talk to you today about pricing your bookkeeping services. I get this question all the time: do I have a pricing calculator? Some of these other platforms out there, they offer a pricing calculator, and I find it to be quite interesting that they offer such a thing because there's no one calculator that fits all, and I'll get into the reason why. So I just wanted to preface with, you have to be really careful about where you get your information from. A lot of these things are there's so many variables when it comes to pricing that, and some of those variables are based upon you, and I'll get into other reasons, but there's no one calculator that fits somebody in Southern California on the coast. The same calculator fits somebody in the Midwest, say, unless they're taken into some very scientific information, which should be cost of living and emotional state of you, the preparer. So let me get into that, all right? So I just want to say, be careful where you get your information, because some things are just not so cut and dry. They fluctuate, they change, and you need to factor in things constantly, all right? So that's what I want to start with, is no one calculator fits all. If somebody says, here, I'm going to give you a free calculator to price your services, be skeptical, because how can that one calculator, one, fit you today the same as it would fit you a year from today? And also, how can it fit one person in one part of the country the same as it would fit somebody in another part of the country, unless it takes into, like I said, consideration of these, a lot of different data. And I haven't seen one that does that yet. So here is my lowdown on the two biggest variables when it comes to pricing your services, okay? And then you can develop your own kind of calculator based upon these variables and other variables too. But the two biggest variables, I think, when it comes to pricing your bookkeeping services is the location of your client, the cost of living of where that client lives. It's not necessarily, if you're getting clients in a different location than where you live, it's not the cost of living where you live so much, it's the cost of living where your client lives. What are they used to paying for services? That in Southern California on the coast, where I live, people are used to paying a lot of money for services. Now, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Central Illinois, and first of all, we didn't really hire people to do most of the stuff. We did it ourselves, or we had family help us, that kind of thing. But the things that we would hire somebody to do, we wouldn't be paying those kinds of rates as what people are used to paying out here. So it's a completely, and all over the country, it's like that. There are some extremely expensive places to live. They're used to paying a lot of money for services. There are extremely inexpensive places to live, and they're not used to either paying for services at all, or if they do, they're not paying high dollar by any means. So that is the number one variable when it comes to pricing your services, is what is your potential client used to paying for these kinds of services? And then the second one is, how hungry are you? So this is an emotional thing that changes all the time. How can a calculator factor that in? It can't. One day, I might feel like I've got my head above water. I'm all caught up on my work. I'm willing to take on another client. I like the vibe that I'm getting from that client. I'm liking what I'm hearing. So that factors into my pricing as well. And the opposite is true too, is if I am struggling to stay above water, I have way more work than I need, and somebody calls and says, that they want my services, and I'm gonna price, if I take the client on and not pass on it, I'm going to price that in a way that where if I get it, I'm happy I got it, but which is pricing it higher than I would have if I was, say, hungry. So that's the number two, is how hungry are you? Here's something really, really important to, I see so much advice on pricing. It's kind of sad, because people that are brand new to bookkeeping, they may need that work. You may need that work. So, and you're also getting education through these first clients. Your first clients, you're going to learn so much through the work that you do with your first clients. They most of the time, right? We go to a school. We're paying to get an education. This is, you're actually getting paid to get an education. Your first clients, all of your clients you'll be learning something, but especially those first ones. Your first clients you're really going to be learning a lot. And why would you try to charge a premium on one, you may have all the extra time in the world to do it, and two, you're getting this education and you're actually getting paid to do it. You're, instead of going to school and paying to get an education. So keep those things in mind when you're pricing your services. You don't need to take this advice of you have to charge X amount per transaction, and you have to. I see a lot of people being really. I don't think they're thinking about how they were when they first started out. They're thinking about how they are now after 10 years of experience. So you have to take that into consideration, is that one, you're getting paid to learn. You're learning your craft and you're getting paid to do that. So why overcharge for that? And then also that cost of living factor is huge. So put that in a calculator and develop your own calculator, or just go how I've always done it. I've gone by feel, like how I kind of know what, and that's what I'm getting into the solution here, is you need to kind of know what your competition is, in the range of bookkeeping, of fees that bookkeepers are charging in that area. So if your clients are in the same area you're in, you can call around and ask bookkeeping companies how much they charge, and they may tell you. You can go to their websites. You go to your competitors' websites, and they might have fees on there. So there's different ways to kind of get an idea of what people are charging in your area. And like I said, if you're hungry, you can charge less than what your competition is charging. You can always increase your fees later. That's not a problem. Your first client, you can even give away, just so that you're getting that information. The next client, you can charge a little bit more. Next client, you can charge a little bit more. You're not stuck on anything during this process. You can increase it you can fluctuate. It's kind of like what I've done, is I've always go by how hungry I am at that time, and base my fees on that. So one person may call me one day, and I say it's going to be $250 a month, and then they might call me the very next day or next week, and I'd say $300. So I know everybody has their own system, or you will develop your own system, but these are the key factors when you are developing that system. And then, of course, you want to take into consideration the size of the job, the amount of transactions, and stuff like that. I go into more depth in my course, but on all of this. But I just wanted to get these two out there, because I keep getting people asking me, do you have a pricing calculator that such and such program has a pricing calculator? And I'm just like, I haven't seen a pricing calculator that is accurate and that takes into consideration these extremely valuable and hard to calculate variables. All right. So that solution, though, you can call around, ask around what, you can even, if some of your friends or people you know, or they're paying for bookkeeping services, you can ask them what they're paying. And so there's lots of ways that you can find out what kind of the range is around your area, and find out what your competition is charging. All right. So now I want to get into more of how I charge. Okay. So I've been doing this about 20 years, and I've gone different ways over the past, but definitely for the last 10 years, I've only flat rated everything. Like I said, there's been times in my career that I've done the hourly, and it's always kind of been difficult, or so the reason why, there's a handful of reasons why, but one of the big reasons why is it's good that your clients don't have any question. Like if they're calling you and saying, I have this job and I want to get it done, and you say, okay, my hourly is X amount, and they have, say, a cleanup job or something like that, and in their head they have no idea what it's going to be, because you're telling them that it's going to be X amount per hour. You have unless you're telling them exactly how many hours it's going to take, which is basically a flat rate, hourly times the hour. They don't know, so that leaves the question in their mind, and they might not go with you because of that. They might say, well, I don't. This one's telling me it's going to be $600 to do this, and he's charging an hourly, which I have no idea what it'll end up being. So that's a huge reason why to go with flat rate, is so that there are no questions to the client of how much it's going to be. They know exactly how much it's going to be. I flat rate cleanup jobs. I flat rate monthly bookkeeping services. All right, and here's another big factor is when you are young to the profession, you're just starting out, it's going to take you way longer to do something than what it takes when, like, 2 years from, even a few months. So if you get a new client, that first month that you do that client's books is going to take you longer than that third month or the 6th month or the a year later. Your efficiency is going to go up over time. You're going to learn QuickBooks. You're going to be more efficient with QuickBooks. You're going to learn that client, the habits of that client. So there's a lot of reasons why the amount of time that you're going to spend on a particular client will decrease over time. So if you're charging by the hour, let's say you're charging $50 an hour, and the first month it takes you 3 hours to do, you made $150. The second month it only takes you 2 hours to do, so you're only making $100. The third month, your efficiency, or say so many months down the road, you're extremely efficient. You fly through that client and doing the same amount of work, but you're 3 times as efficient. You can only charge $50, and then you get into this ethical dilemma. Are you going to charge them for 3 hours when it only took you 1 hour to do? So you don't want to get yourself into that kind of situation where you're overbilling your hours. Okay, so, and you don't want to get in the situation where you're charging less overtime for a client to do their books. You want it just to be steady, and that's why a flat rate really works, because your efficiency is going to go up over time, and you want to still be able to charge the same amount per month. So that's why I say you don't want that fluctuation. Your fees will decrease as your efficiency goes up if you're doing an hourly. But if you're doing a flat rate, it's going to be the same. So let's use that same example. It used to take you 3 hours to make $150. A year down the line, you're getting so efficient with QuickBooks and that particular client, it only takes you an hour to do it, to make $150. So how much you making an hour on that particular client? $150. You started, a year prior making $50 an hour on that client, and now you're making $150 an hour on that client. So that's how you can make a lot of money as a bookkeeper, instead of doing an hourly thing where you're locking yourself into how much can you charge in a given day. You can really, as you get efficient with this profession, you can really rake it in, because it works out to be a lot per hour if you do a flat rate. All right, so take all of this into consideration when you see these things where people are promising you a slick calculator, but there's more to it than how many transactions per month are you doing, that kind of thing. So if you like this video, I do have a free webinar that you can check out. I go over everything about how to start and grow a bookkeeping business. So if you're do you already have a bookkeeping business and you're struggling to get clients, that program's for you. If you're brand new to even just thinking about starting your own bookkeeping business, that course is for you as well. It's all about how to start and grow that business in a really professional way to where you get clients. It covers branding, advertising, marketing, networking, everything about talking to clients before and after you get the client. There's a lot there. And there's other bonuses in the thing. But check out the link below, and you can then take that free webinar. And if you're already ready to take my course, just go to BookkeepingLife.com. There's a waiting list, and just get your name on that waiting list, and we'll get you in the program as soon as we have an opening for it, which will happen. All right. I hope you have a great day. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Steve@BookkeepingLife.com. And I hope you have an excellent day. Bye.